Okay, so this is Dual Imperial. This is A4A, I think. Let me check. Yeah, this is A4A. So this is just kind of like my attempt at solving the issues of dual maps in Open Fortress, because I think a lot of Open Fortress's dual maps kind of suck a little bit. There's not a lot of space on them, and like it's super easy to just get chased down by someone. So yeah, this is my attempt at kind of like making a dual map that works in Open Fortress a little bit. So there's kind of a lot more heavy inspiration from Quake maps. If you're like familiar with like the Quake Duel and TDM map pools, you'll kind of recognize bits of it. Like this is kind of like part of Limbus. So there's a few things like that. But yeah. So the first point here, again, this is kind of all inspired by Limbus. It's kind of a relatively large space, I think, for a dual map. This map is actually pretty large for a dual map, I think, but it's kind of got like the three area kind of design where it's all split up. So there's kind of a bunch of ways into this area from the middle, and then there's this slipgate here. That like takes you to a different area of the map that isn't the middle. And I think this is kind of like the weakest area to be in, I guess. I mean, there's a mega health there, but it's still, this isn't like there's not an amazingly strong position here. You kind of just can come here to like gather weapons and health and then go to the area with the lightning gun. But there is still that mega health here. You can shoot, actually it might be better with this. You can shoot through that grate like you can with grates in Quake. And there's kind of this like Quakey ledge here with the pills. This jump for the health is kind of similar as well. There's a bunch of stuff like that. So, you know, this ledge here. There's multiple ways around to the health. And one thing I really like about this area, even though it's not a strong position, is this low ground here. I don't know. I'm just a big fan of it. This pillar is nice as well.
Activation imminent.
This pillar is nice as well, just the way it blocks, like, the sight line. You know. There's still, I can still sit here and aim into that doorway, but it's like, I'm not gonna get as much aiming in there as I'm gonna get, like, standing here, aiming in there. So, just not being able to aim in there from here is nice. It makes the railgun not so busted. Well, less busted, I think. But beyond that, there's also this slipgate here. One thing I'm still kind of iffy on is this whole area along here. I don't know if it's too long being one height level. I'm not entirely sure. Especially since it goes to like here, and this is still like a very similar height level. I do think the shutter door kind of helps it a lot. In terms of not looking like it's all one height level, because this was open, I think it would be like a bit more egregious, especially since this would be a long sight line. The door itself, I think, is also kind of cool. I don't know, I just like the way it's positioned. I think you can go really fast into it, I think, and like not get stopped. Yeah, I mean, 1,000 hammer units, it'll stop you, but like, I don't know. I guess like if you no, that's like too difficult to do. I don't think there's really a situation where you're gonna be traveling at 1,000 hammer units per second. So, yeah, you know, for all intents and purposes, you know, this door doesn't stop you. So, yeah, that's nice. And also, I really like this area here, even though it's like kind of a little bit of a sightline. I don't know. I think it's like good high ground, but it's also kind of distant enough from everything that it's not like busted. Like if I shoot like a railgun down this way, like sure it's strong, like really strong, but it's like you have to have a railgun, and you know someone can just take cover from that and like fuck off.
Activation imminent.
It feels like there's a lot of places that you can attack from, and there's kind of like, you know, there's a lot of options like defensively. So, yeah. There's also, to the right side of the bit I just talked about, this kind of little area here with the grenade launcher that I think is kind of cool, but the thing is, nobody, like, uses this. I don't know what's up with that. I mean, the grenade launcher, I think, is maybe a little bit muted in Open Fortress because it's, like, you know, it's difficult to spam at, like, doorways and stuff with, but I still think it's, like, a decent option. So, this is just kind of a bit far out of the way, and the grenade launcher isn't super good in Open Fortress. So I think people don't go in here so much. But I've seen it happen a few times. You know, people come in here to get a little bit of health. But most of the time this room is a bit of an afterthought, and I don't know if I want to change that or not. Like if I want people to be incentivized to come in here, or if I'm fine with it being the way it is. So, but I think the room itself, in terms of the geometry, is interesting. This is another little bit that was kind of inspired by Limbus. To the kind of, I guess it's like the equivalent of, it's kind of the equivalent of the area behind the part of Limbus that this is based on. So, you know, it's nice, just nobody uses it, and I don't know why. And I would like if people used it, but I don't know if I have to change that, or if it's fine being the way it is in terms of, like, just the structure. So, there's also, this area to the side here. This is kind of, just the left equivalent of the grenade launcher spot. This one sees a bit more use, I think. It's a bit quicker. The flamethrower in Open Fortress isn't very good, so I mean, you're not gonna go in here to, like, pick up the flamethrower specifically. But especially, in the TDM version of this map, there's a shield here. So you do have people kind of coming in and out of here, just because it's a nice spot to get shield, especially in TDM. And it's just a decent spot to, like, get out of combat, so, yeah. I mean, this area, one of the issues I'm having with it at the moment is that I think it's just a little bit boring. And I just don't know how to approach that, how to make it, like, more fun and interesting. But I'll probably find a way, probably. I'm just not sure how to go about it. But, yeah. I think maybe if I put something over here, maybe, like, I don't know, like an ammo box here, it would feel a bit less empty, maybe. But I don't know if I want to do that, so, yeah. So this mid area is kind of inspired by Ragnarok. Ragnarok mid from Quake Live. I really like Ragnarok. So, you know, I just wanted to take a part from it. This is another bit I'm really happy with. You've kind of got, like, I think it's, like, 4 entrances to this side, and then 1, 2, 3. Yeah, like 4 entrances on each side. So, you're very prone to, like, getting ambushed on this point, but also, like, just because generally you're gonna be kind of you're gonna be able to watch this quite easily, so you can preempt people. You know, you can watch this decently well. And I mean, every other entrance is from the low ground. If I'm standing up here, and here, you know, someone has to come either through here or through here. And I mean, if someone comes through here, I can just, like, do that. So, and again, the other entrances, you know, here and here, they're far away. Here you have, like, it's a weird sightline. I mean, if someone's standing right against that wall, then it's gonna be a really weird rail. It's just kind of difficult to hit because you've got, like, the 2 pieces of cover. And I mean, if I'm here getting shot at by someone over there, I can just, like, do this, or I can just, like, do this. So it's pretty easy to get out of the way. and it's just such a weird sightline. So, I think just the general structure of, like, having, like, an L-shaped kind of high ground around a point is just something that's, like, quite nice in arena shooters, you know. You see it on maps, like, I'm trying to think of open fortress maps that do it. Like, Warhead, that's a kind of dual map-ish. That's something that I play as a dual map with people. I guess Warhead and Databank, you know, those are kind of like the two best dual maps. Those kind of do that sort of thing with their respective areas. So, this is kind of similar, I think, and it's just a fun little structure. So, there's kind of like this high ground, you know. I really like this platform up here, or like this bridge or whatever. I think this is really cool. I'm unsure about these bars if I want it to be like they're gone and you can just stand here, because I don't know, then it's super easy to like stand here and spam down and like over here, and I don't know if I want that. But yeah, I mean, there's a few interesting positions to be in, you know. Over here I have pretty good cover from most things. You know, it's you come out here and you have like decently good cover, and you're not far from the exits. So, you know, I can kind of immediately go through here, or I can take a bit longer and go through here, or I can go through here onto this inside area. So, you know, this is not so much of an advantageous position. I think this is probably the weakest position to be in this area, because, you know, it's likely if you're down there that especially if you're being chased, that someone's just going to be up here to shoot you. But like as a kind of transitional area, you know, this lower area is fine. And I mean, you have from down here you can get the railgun and just jump up. So you can. There's definitely a reason to be down there. It's just not like a powerful spot to take a fight from. So. And I think that's fine. But yeah, definitely my favorite part of the entire map, perhaps, is just this this high ground here. I don't know. I really like it. So, yeah. One of the things I'm concerned about, and this is more to do with like the railgun than the map, is just the fact that you can, you know, this fires way quicker than like the equivalent in Quake, and I think just because of like the weapon switch thing, where like, you know, it reloads while you have it idle as well. It's it's kind of super easy to use this as like just a secondary weapon, you know, like a finisher. That's kind of a really annoying thing, is that you can hit a rocket on someone, then pull this out and kind of immediately shoot them. So I believe that's something that you can change with like edits to like game files or whatever, or like there's kind of a map specific file that defines like different weapons that I think you can edit to like change, but it's just you know, I don't want to make such a minor change to the railgun because, you know, people are going to be used to the old one, but at the same time, it's just kind of busted that you can, like, pop someone in the air and then whip this out in, like, half a second and hit them. So, I've considered it, but I don't think I'm going to go through with it. We'll see. Maybe. But, yeah, this is the midpoint. Pretty nice. I think nicer than the back area here. This back area is my least favorite, and then I don't know if I prefer this area here or the inside area there. But yeah. So here is the back inside area. A lot of people like this area a lot. This was a lot of people's favorite part. This is kind of inspired by part of Silence. It's like there's more height disparity, and I think there's a bit more cover on the low ground. But you can see the similarities, I imagine, like especially the boost pad here. You know, that's basically that's basically taken exactly from part of Silence, and you know, this high ground. It's kind of like curved. It's like, the brush itself is similar, but I mean, in practice, it's kind of a bit different. But yeah, a lot of people said this was their favorite.
Activation imminent.
Thank you. I appreciate that one. A lot of people really like this area. There's kind of a mega health here. In the TDM version of the map, this is a crits. So this is kind of like a popular area for people to gather around once it spawns. But yeah, I think aesthetically as well, this is really cool with the wooden pillars. And I mean, this looks kind of weird where it's like wooden pillars behind like grates. But I mean, whatever. I'll find a way to like replace that at some point soon. That'll be fine. Yeah, this is one of the two areas with like the rocket launcher and the mega health. They're kind of at opposite ends. I think just because, and a lot of Quake maps do this, is they have two rocket launchers. Just because the rocket launcher is so widely useful, I think it just helps to have like two of them. So that if someone's like spawning in here, then you know they have something. They have something close to them. There's the portal here that leads to the outside area, and then there is also on the middle area a portal here that leads to the high ground on this point, that I think makes this more interesting to play. You know, there's a few cool things you can do where you can go between these two areas with relative ease. And sometimes people will, and I do this myself sometimes, what I've seen people do is they will go through this portal, wait for a second, and then go back in and get a surprise attack on someone. And I think that's a cool little strat, just to kind of keep people on their toes, you know? Little flank plays like that I think are fun. So, beyond that, there's the railgun up here. This used to be, or not the railgun, this is a lightning gun. There's a lightning gun up here. This used to be a railgun. But before, the way that this jump pad would work is that it would take away all your movement and just force you onto the platform. So you follow the same, like, arc, jumping onto the platform every time. And the combination of that and the railgun here meant that, like, if somebody was down there and you, like, saw them, you could just, like, fuck them instantly. You could, like, hit a railgun shot on them so easily, and they would be down 80 health by the time they get up. So, it was really annoying to play against. So, you know, I've given movement back on this jump pad, which just makes it kind of slightly more, like, usable for attacks, because you can, like, you know, air strafe. And then also I made this a railgun so that it's kind of more difficult to just instantly hit 80 on someone. Because it's like, because it's sustained damage over time, and you don't have that much time to react unless you're kind of like peeking a bit more off the edge, it's it's a bit more difficult to just shred someone for going on this bounce pad, so it makes the bounce pad a bit more viable, which I'm happy with. One of the main issues with this area, I think, is just like people kind of, especially in TDM, people kind of tend to pile up in here a bit, but that might just be because there's like the crits in here, just because it's, instead of it being like 10 seconds and it respawns like once every 30 seconds, like in normal open fortress maps, it's more like Quake, where it spawns once every 2 minutes and lasts 30 seconds. So you get way more out of it, but it's way rarer. So it's like you kind of have to play this run a bit more. In Duel, it seems to be fine. You know, I mean, it's still like a place people visit often just because of the mega health, but it's like you're not usually like hanging around in here. Just waiting for, like, something to spawn. You're kind of just going around it. So, like, you know, if I come in here, usually I'm going back because I need health, like, in that instant, or because the mega health is up. So, it's, you know, it's not so bad. Originally, I think, was it this one? No, I think it was... This one was a dual shield power-up, but the dual shield blocks like 50% of the damage you take. It's crazy. And when I was kind of testing this, people didn't like that so much, and they way preferred the double mega health, because the health functions a little bit more like armor in Quake than like the dual shield does, because in Open Fortress,
Activation imminent.
there's no armor. It's just health. So the dual shield in this is like a passive damage resistance that just lasts, I think it's like 60 seconds. And then once it's gone, it respawns. So, it was a bit busted because you would just see a guy taking shields the entire game and the other person would just not have anything and they'd get fucked. Kind of more so than I think would be, like, acceptable in an arena shooter map. So, in the end I made the decision to take it out and just replace it with the Mega Health. And it seems like people enjoy it way more. So, yeah. I guess my favorite thing about this area is just this boost pad. I don't know, the boost pad is super fun. So, and because of the movement you get off of it as well, it's, like, nice. So, but, yeah. I'm not so sure how I feel about the pillars on this high ground, but people don't seem to, like, acknowledge them, which seems to me to indicate that it's fine. So I'm not gonna change it probably until I hear like people complain. You know, it's whatever. It blocks sightlines, and it just makes it so that it's less empty up here, and also it makes it kind of make a bit more physical sense. So, yeah. I'm also kind of unsure about this room. If I like this door, again, kind of opens up like a super long sightline, and you can kind of do that, but it's not a big deal. It's like a very minor thing. So, again, that's another thing that I'm leaving for now. I would like to do something to this area here just to make it a bit nicer. I don't know. I feel like at the moment it feels awkward, but that might just me being like kind of paranoid about that. I don't know how other people feel about it. I need to like kind of get some feedback on that. And I'm also not sure if there's not enough health in this area, or if there's too much health in this area, because there's like the pills here, you know, what is this? They do 8 each, so that is 24. That's 40. That is 66, I think. No, 64 even. You know, 80. That's just 80 on the ground. And you know, that's 150. So, it's a bit crazy, and I don't know. Well, I'm imagining it's a bit crazy. I don't know how bad it actually is. Compared to, like, in the other area, like, in here, there's, like, 24. 24 plus 32. 56. Yeah, there's 56 here. And then there's, 24. 40 in here. So I don't know if there's too much health here or not. Maybe, I don't know. Again, that's a thing I would have to get feedback on, so. But yeah, that's Imperial. I'm really excited to see where this goes. From the playtest so far, people really like this map, which I'm so glad to hear about. Considering that everybody kind of seems to agree that the dual maps in this game, like, suck. So, it's nice to know that, I've been able to make a dual map that people actually, like, enjoy playing on. But yeah, that's everything, I think. See ya.